Aries, welcome to your reading for the week of February 29th. And this week, you start off with the Three of Spades. So, Three of Spades is all about watching your health, taking care of your health, making sure that you're staying healthy, all of those things. Like I say about the Three of Spades, it's mostly just a warning card that is just simply giving you a warning to watch your health, and that's pretty much it. This can also be a card of using your creativity. Some of you might bump up might bump up against some sort of obstacle this week, I guess, and it looks like you're going to be able to overcome it. I mean, because just the way the cards are following up after this obstacle, I think you'll see how you'll be able to work through it. But Three of Spades can sometimes be needing to use creative solutions, come up with creative ways to get around, some sort of obstacle, maybe trying something you've never even heard of before, or also like weird ways of solving a problem. You might come up with a problem, there might be some problem at work or in your business or something, and you might have to use something like unconventional or that's never been done before, kind of, and your creativity will kind of come in handy for that situation. Next, we have the Five of Diamonds. Great time to launch new ideas, new projects, even home-based projects. Like if you're thinking about doing something at the home, fixing up a room or something like that, now's a good time to do it. If you're thinking about launching a business or starting a new job or starting to look for a new job, if you're looking for some sort of job improvements, now's a good time to do it with this card. It's also a good time to even kind of go over relationships with people, and that's not just love, that's any type of relationship you have with people, and even if people have been distant or something and you're trying to rebuild relationships, now's a good time to do it. I've said to almost every sign now that the way, I've been looking at the astrology, even though I don't do astrology videos, actually, which might start happening this week, by the way, but I've been looking at the astrology over the past few years even, and there have been some interesting things going on with Capricorn, and I always think of Capricorn as dealing with our friends and people who are close to us. Even though Capricorn is a sign of business and all these other things, to me it also has to do with friends, and it can definitely affect friendships. Any of the earth signs, again, to me, maybe not all other astrologers, but to me, can definitely have some effects on friends and things like that. So it's a message that's even coming up right now, and with this card as well, like kind of fixing old friendships and stuff. So if you've had any of those problems, this can fix some of those things. Next, we have the Queen of Diamonds. Queen of Diamonds is a great card. Very good, I would say, very good business week. If you're in business, you'll have a lot of good ideas. Also, just another good card for stabilizing your life. Sometimes the Queen of Diamonds comes up, and we need to look at our finances, figure out how we can plan things out better. And I think this is a message that's come up for you in the past, possibly with me. So, definitely be carrying on. But she's really good at figuring out and stabilizing her own finances. So some of you might actually just be doing that this week, like looking at how much you're spending, maybe fixing your spending less. Maybe you could spend more, and you're just like, oh, you know what, we can spend more on this. Or sometimes I also think of the Queen of Diamonds as having a choice between two things, and kind of that Five of Diamonds too. It's not really a choice card, but this message is coming up, so I'm going to say it. The Queen of Diamonds, she really is willing to spend money on things as well. Like if she has a choice between something super cheap and something really expensive, she understands value, I think, which is more important. She understands if she spends more money on something like a computer, then she's going to get something that lasts longer. Whereas some of the other cards maybe would go for the cheaper computer just so they don't have to spend a lot of money. She's looking at true value. She's not looking at value in the sense of spending less and having that be a value. She's looking at value as in buying something really, really nice that's going to last a lot longer because it's just a higher quality item. So some of you might have that choice this week. Again, a weird message, but it popped up, so I'm going to say it. But you might be looking at value of something, maybe even a car or something like that. Maybe you'll have a choice between something cheaper, and there might be a more expensive option, but that more expensive option might last longer, so it might just make more sense in the long term to spend the extra money to get something that's truly valuable, not something that's valuable in the sense that it costs less. Next, you have the Eight of Spades. Again, this can be that obstacle that I was talking about. It feels very small to me. Again, I know that sounds weird, but I'm getting this picture of a very small dot, and I'm taking that to mean that this is going to be just a small obstacle that you might face this week. Could have to do with something like, Eight eight of spades can sometimes be overindulgence where we're on a diet, but maybe we have a cheat day that turns into like 12 cheat days in a row. So it could be something along those lines to look out for. But the good news is it's followed up by the eight of hearts. So it seems like you're going to be able to turn that around. And maybe that's what the card represents. Maybe some of you have gone on a 2 week cheat day binge, or maybe some of you have overindulged in some other way. It doesn't have to be a cheat day, it could be almost anything. And now you're kind of turning around with this Eight of Hearts. Eight of Hearts can be a turnaround card for sure, but the Eight of Hearts is also about putting a lot of energy into things. So watch what you're putting energy into this week as well. Make sure it's worth it. Sometimes, again, with that Queen of Diamonds message there about value and all of this, sometimes with the Eight of Spades, we're putting too much energy into something that we're not getting anything back. But if we just like go over here a little bit and look for something different, we can put our energy into something that's more valuable to us, and sometimes that's what this Eight of Hearts can mean. So thank you for watching. Looks like a great week. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot going on as well with those two eights. So thank you, and enjoy your week.